about DrayTek. As you know that DrayTek has classified into routers, switches, and wireless access points. And there DrayTek is going to provide the reliable network solutions. And today our main topic is that, let's go and have a look. So today we are going to discuss about WAN load balancing, VPN Matcher, DrayTek router app, and DrayTek wireless solutions. So at the end of this session, I'm going to address all your questions, guys. And let's go and see one by one, because you know that DrayTek has a huge features and it has a huge portfolio. But today we are just focusing on these main topics. And also, as you know that every weekend, like in Saturdays, mostly we are going to arrange the trainings for the partners. So if you want to familiar with the hands-on and if you are getting some issues, you can just visit us our office directly in Baddubai office, and we will be available, or else you can send us an email support@datavoice.com. So this is what our agenda, and let's go and discuss about the WAN load balancing. So most of you guys, you know that, I think someone is trying to raise your hand. Let's see that. Okay, is there any issue? You can just type it. If you're finding someone is raising the hand, and if you have any issue, just type your question there in the chat window. At the end of this session, I'm going to address all your questions, guys. Yeah, thank you. So the first one is that WAN load balancing. As you know that most of the DrayTek routers, they are going to support the more than one internet connections. So in case if you have a more than one internet connection, how the load balancing is going to happen. So that's what we are going to discuss it in today's session. So if you see here, load balancing is an integrated solution for networks with redundant internet connections. It helps you to increase your internet speed and reduce network downtime. So for example, guys, internet is one of the very important thing, especially in the organization. If the primary connection is down, then automatically the traffic is going to forward to the secondary connection. So you no need to do any other things, guys. By default, in the DrayTek routers, they are going to support the LAN, where you can say WAN load balancing. So by default, all your WAN connections will be in the same pool, which is the load balancing pool, so that whenever the primary connection is down, then automatically the traffic will route through the secondary connection without your notice. So that's why load balancing is one of the very interesting stuff. But if you go with other vendors, manually you need to do so many configurations. So in DrayTek, you don't need to do that. And it does the automatic load balancing. So load balancing is the default settings of Vigor router. Once WAN link is online, the router will add it to the load balancing pool. The moment when you connect to the internet connection, automatically that internet connection will be part of your load balancing pool. And you don't require any configurations, and you don't need to understand what are the technical terms, how it's going to work and all. But I just want to give you the brief overview in my next slides. And there is a seamless failover. So you can achieve through WAN load balancing, you can achieve the seamless WAN failover. So for example, if you see here, DrayTek multi-WAN routers do automatic failovers between WAN connections. In the events of ISP outage, the router will transfer the traffic to the another WAN smoothly, ensure reliable internet connectivity, and save you from the cost of network downtime. So you know that, guys, as I told you earlier, the internet is one of the very important factor. And that's why if you have a two internet connection, if primary internet connection is down, automatically the traffic is going to forward through secondary connection without any delay, guys, and get aggregated bandwidth. And also there is one more interesting thing. You may switch to session-based load balancing, which allows to the router to distribute sessions of a single connection among all the WAN links and provide the LAN client's internet speed faster than a single link can do. So one more interesting stuff, guys, there is a link aggregation. So link aggregation is nothing but if you have a multiple internet connections, if you terminate your DrayTek router, physically you will see like a 2 or 3 internet connections, but virtually it's like a single internet connection. So that is called link aggregation. So the advantage is that it's going to share the bandwidth, so that, if you have a 10 Mbps link, 3 links are there. So whenever you do the bandwidth test, you are going to see 30 Mbps is the bandwidth speed. So that is called aggregating. So now if you see here, basically we have two types of load balancing methods. The first one is IP based load balancing, and second one is the session based load balancing. If you by default in DrayTek routers, the IP based load balancing is enabled, guys. But through IP based load balancing, you cannot achieve link aggregation. So keep in your mind, guys, if you want to do a link aggregation, you need to change it as a session based. So for that, I'm showing you in my next slide how to change it as well. So by default, IP based is the default configuration. It divides the traffic based on the IP address, which means all the sessions will take the single WAN connection. So for example, you know that DrayTek router is going to act as a gateway. Whenever the traffic coming from your internal network, the router is going to receive your information. And if it is have a two internet connections, it's going to use only one internet connection, guys. So this is the default nature of IP based. But in case if you go with the session based, whenever the router is going to receive the traffic from your internal network, it divide the traffic into number of sessions, and it will use the both internet connections, and these sessions is going to send it to the destination, so that all your internet connections is going to utilize it. That's why most of the time we recommend to use the session based. And if you see here in the session based mode, the router will distribute the sessions among WAN links, even though they are from the same connection. So the maximum bandwidth it can get will be on the combination of the all active WANs, so that you can use the maximum bandwidth, guys. So whenever the router receives the information from the local network, it's going to divide into the sessions, and some sessions is going to send it through your WAN 1, and some sessions is going to send it through your WAN 2, so that it's going to use the complete bandwidth utilization. So this is the one of the best method, so that in case if you are going to suggest to your customer with multiple internet connections, make sure that you just enable the session based. But again, I'm going to give you some brief idea, guys. By default, DrayTek is going to support two types of load balancing methods. The first one is IP based. Second one is the session based. If you by default, the IP based is going to work. It doesn't do the load balancing. But in case if you are going to choose the session based, so that whenever the router is going to receive the traffic from internal network, it's going to divide into multiple sessions, and some sessions is going to send it through WAN 1, and some sessions is going to send it through WAN 2, so that you can able to utilize the maximum bandwidth. So this is what the overview about WAN load balancing. The next one is that VPN Matcher. So if you are going to see the VPN Matcher, guys, this is one of the very interesting thing. So if most of the people nowadays, whenever I'm going to receive the calls, especially from the partners, sometimes the problem is that maybe the customer is getting the IP address from the service provider, which is the private IP. So through private IP, you cannot able to establish the VPN, guys. So this is one of the challenge. And here, if you see in this slide, both sides, you are getting the private IPs. So whenever you have a private IPs, will you able to configure the VPN? We cannot. Why? Because the private IP addresses are the non-routable IP address in the public space. So that time, how you are going to establish the VPN? And one more interesting thing in DrayTek, especially, one side you have a private IP and another side you have a public IP, still you can able to establish the VPN, guys. There is no problem for it. Either you can use SSL, or you can use L2TP, or you can use PPTP, or you can use IPsec. So choice is yours on which protocol you are going to use. But especially if both sides you have a private IP and you are trying to establish the VPN. So that is the biggest challenge from everyone. So in that case, DrayTek has a feature, we can call it as a VPN matcher. So it's very simple, guys. What you can do, you just see here in the down, there is a website, which is https://vpnmatcher.draytek.com. You just go to that site. Then after that, you just add the MAC address of this both routers in the VPN matcher, because the VPN matcher is the server. Just for example, you have a two locations, and in the two locations you kept the two routers, and these two routers has a two private IPs. So each and every router, there is a MAC address and there is a private network. So those information, what you are going to do, you just add it into the VPN matcher server. Then after that, you can configure which router you want to make it as a VPN server, and you can configure which router as a VPN client. Then after that, it's automatically established the VPN by using the VPN matcher server. So this VPN matcher server is going to act as your stun server, so that your traffic is going to be, your VPN traffic is going to establish through your VPN matcher server. So that's the beauty of that, guys. So most of the people, most of the DrayTek routers, they are going to support this VPN matcher feature, and make sure that before you are going to enable the VPN matcher, you just go to the vpnmatcher.draytek.com. First, you need to visit the site. Then after that, you need to take the MAC address and local subnets of each router. You need to add it there. Once you add it, you can come back to each and every router and enable the VPN matcher setup, and make sure that whenever you enable the VPN matcher in the portal, there you will get the router ID. So there is a key, is the router key. So make sure that you have to copy the router key in each and every location manually. Then after that, as you know that in the DrayTek, there is a two terminologies, which is VPN server and VPN client. So you can make it one of the site as a VPN server and another site as a VPN client. As you know that VPN server is nothing but which is going to receive the connections, and VPN client is nothing but which is going to establish the connection. So this is the terminology in the VPN. Then after that, you can establish the LAN to LAN VPN. Then the people who is sitting behind the site one, and they behind the site one, let's see here, 192.168.40 is the network which is sitting on one of the site, and in the branch side there is a 192.168.81. so that once the VPN is established, the people who is sitting behind the DrayTek router, they can able to make a communication easily. So that is the main purpose, this guys. So in case, and also one more thing I want to mention, guys, not only the 4G connections, but nowadays, if you are going to take a Etisalat connection also, there you are finding these challenges. Because recently I have received a couple of calls. The people, they used to tell me, we got the dynamic IP address from service provider, but it's not a public IP. So we got the private IP, but we are trying to establish the VPN, but still we are not able to establish. So that time what you can do is simply enable the VPN matcher. So it's very easy, guys, and you can do it directly. And in case if you find any challenges, you can just visit our YouTube channel. There I have already made one video. Just go through it so that you will get a complete idea about it. Yeah, this is how the VPN matcher is going to work. So the next one is that the DrayTek router app. So the DrayTek router app is one of the very interesting, guys. So if you want to configure your router through your app, so most of the time what we are going to do, we are going to connect DrayTek router directly through the LAN interface. Then after that, we are going to enter like username and password. The default username is admin, the default password is admin. Then after that, we are going to do whatever configurations we want to do, we are going to do it. But through the router app, you can directly connect to the router and you can just configure it through app itself, guys. That's the beauty of it. But most of the time, the people has a question how to configure it and how it's going to work. But this feature especially is available in a few routers, not in all the routers. Hopefully in the upcoming days, you will get it in all the routers. So I'm going to explain to you which routers the DrayTek router app is going to support and which router we can able to configure it through your router app. I'm going to show it to you as well. So now if you see here, the DrayTek router has many features that are loved by the professionals, including VPN, firewalls, and routing policy. And make sure that one, guys, there is many of them, they know that DrayTek router is going to act as a VPN gateway, and also it has a firewall features. As you know that we are going to support the DNS filtering, application filtering, web filtering. We are going to support it. And route policy, this is one of the very interesting. So the route policy is nothing but, for example, if you have a two internet connections, you can able to specify which traffic has to go through which internet connection. So that's the beauty of that, guys. So if you go with any other vendors, then you need to do a lot of configurations. But in DrayTek, it's very easy. Through GUI, you can just choose which traffic wants to go which internet connection. And also evolving with our customers, we have gradually added more and more advanced features, even considered extraordinary cases. They bring more flexibility to customers, but also inevitably gain complexity to the web user interface. With router app, Vigor routers not only becomes friendly to non-tech savvy users, means if you don't have any technical knowledge also, you can use your Vigor app and you can configure your router in fraction of seconds, guys. But also good for professionals to manage the network with their mobile devices. So let's go and have a look. And what are the advantages that you are going to get? So the first thing is that, as I mentioned to you, through Vigor app, you can configure the VPN to perform highly sensitive work at home, like high-speed VPN to the corporate network or cloud is essential. Router app supports setup establishing a VPN tunnels. So through router app, what you can do, you are going to establish the VPN tunnel. And also if you want to configure certain policies, you can able to define as well. So as I mentioned earlier, guys, there is a route policy, so that you can just mention that which traffic you want to forward through the VPN, and which traffic you want to forward to your local internet. You can able to define it as well. So that's what it's saying, that in split VPN and split WAN with route policy. And there is one of the interesting feature, which is a parental control. Through your router app, you can do the parental control, like enforcing your safe search. So for example, your kids, if they are trying to access the internet, you can just make sure that they are searching in, when they are trying to search different websites, we are not allowing to access those websites. And you can enable the safe search, and you can define the study times, which means you can able to create the time profiles. Then you can mention there and which times we are going to block the certain websites. So for example, I want to block the social media sites and game sites, especially the kids while they are in the study time, and you can do that as well through app. And also while they are going to sleep, then you can disable the internet. So you can create the different time profiles, and you can associate each and every profile with the different policies. That's you can able to do it. So that's the beauty of this router app. So the first thing is that how to configure this. So the first step is that connect to the router to Wi-Fi. So as I mentioned to you, for example, if you take a 2927, okay, if you take a 2927, some of the routers which is going to support Wi-Fi. So just you can connect, first open your router app. Then after that, you can scan it, which means you are going to connect with the default network of the router. Then after that, once it's connected, then you can configure your WAN connection, your Wi-Fi connection. Then after that, whatever policies you want to set, you can set it up. So this is one of the easiest way, guys. Even for this one also, what I have done, I just created a video and I uploaded as well. You can just go through it. You can just type in the YouTube DVCom technology. There you can able to see our videos. So right now we are going to support this feature, which is 2862, and make sure that the firmware should be 3.9.7 or higher version. And it's going to support in 2926. As you know that in 2926, there is a routers, two series will come. One is the LTE and one is the normal. And the same thing is going to support in 2927 and 2927 LTE and 2865 and 2865 LTE. So these are the routers at the moment. It's going to, you can use router app and you can configure these routers at the moment. And in case if you want to know from where I can download this application, just you can, if you are using Android, you can just go to the Google Play and you can download it. And in case if you are using the iPhone, just go from App Store, and from there you can download this application. It's a free of cost, guys. You don't need to pay anything for it. But only the important thing is that while you are going to configure it, at first time when you open this app, it will show you two options. It's a new router or existing router. If it is a new router, let's see here on the screen, it's showing like a 2862 or 2926 or 2927 or 2865. Then immediately you just click on the new. Then after that, it will scan. But before it's going to scan, the one of the very interesting thing is that you need to connect the existing Wi-Fi. By default, if you take a DrayTek router, let's say if you are taking a 2927, the Wi-Fi series router, by default, Wi-Fi is enabled with the default SSID. So make sure that your mobile device has to connect to the default Wi-Fi. Then after that, you need to open this router app. Once you open the router app, there is a discover option is there. Just click on the discover app like this. Then automatically it's going to discover it. Then you just click on the connect, then automatically it will connect to you. Then after that, you can configure your internet connection, you can configure your Wi-Fi connection, and you can configure your VPN connection. And in case if you want to do a policy-based routing or anything, you can directly do it. Even if you want to do a port forwarding, you can do it. If you want to create a profiles, you can do it. So whatever you want it, you can able to do it through your app. So that's one of the interesting, guys. So this is what all about the router app. So the next one is the DrayTek wireless solution. So this is very interesting, guys, because nowadays, as you know, that most of the people, they likes to go for the wireless. So what are the wireless solutions that DrayTek is going to offer? Let's go and have a look. So the first one is that mesh. So especially the mesh is nothing but if you have a small environment, and in that some places you are not able to pull the cables due to some reasons. So that time what you can do, you can go with the mesh, guys. So if you see here in the mesh environment, it support the wired and wireless access points. So both it's going to support, and maximum we are going to support seven access points in this. So here in the mesh terminology, one of the access point is going to act as a mesh route, and remaining access points, they are going to act as a mesh node. So through mesh root API, what you can do, whatever configurations you want to do it, like if you want to create SSIDs, or you can create like a wireless LAN profiles, everything you can configure it in the root API, then automatically this root API is going to send this configuration to node APIs. But only very interesting thing, first of all, you need to make which API you want to make it as a root API. You need to define that. Once you made it as a root API, then after that, you are going to add the remaining APIs as in node APIs. Then after that, you can do whatever configurations you want to do it. You can do it at the root API. Then this root API is going to push this configuration to the mesh node APIs. So this is the what you are going to do it, guys. So you can do it from the centralized management, and you no need to go each and every access point to configure it manually, so that it's going to save you a lot of time. And one more thing, guys, there is a wireless app is there in DrayTek. You can download it from App Store. Then by using that wireless app, you can make it as a mesh root and node APIs. You can directly do it through your app. Also, you can able to configure it. But make sure that don't do any configurations before you are going to do any configurations in the router. For example, if you are taken a access point and you did some configurations, after that you are planning to implement this mesh, then it doesn't work. So make sure that it should take a brand new access points with the default settings. Like, as you know that the default IP and default username and password, there is admin and admin. Don't do any changes. Why? Because before it's going to establish a connection with the root. In case if you do any changes, then it doesn't it doesn't add it into the root API. That's what very important, guys. And now you can see here, the first thing is that how the setup will be. As I told you that you can use the DrayTek wireless app, you can use that and you can directly configure it. And you can see here, one of the API we configured as a root API, and the remaining APIs is going to act as a mesh nodes. So you need to add all the mesh nodes into the root API. Then after that, whatever configurations you want to do it, you can do it in the root API. Then automatically it's going to push this configuration to all the node APIs. So this is how the mesh is going to work. In case if you have a small deployment, you can go for this. And second one is that AP based APM. So which means APM is nothing but access point management. So one of the AP is going to act as a controller, guys. So this is one of the very interesting. So in this solution, what you can do, you can go up to 50 access points in single cluster. So one of the AP, which is going to act as a root access point, then remaining access points are going to act as a node APs. So simply what you can do, whatever configurations you want to do it, you can do it at the root API. Then this root API is going to send this configuration to remaining node APIs. And maybe if you have a question that which APIs is going to act as a root API, which APIs are going to act as a node API, then you can see there is a link I given to you guys. Even I'm going to paste it in the chart so that you can have a look. So which APIs are going to act as a root API and which APIs we are going to act as a node APIs. That is one of the very interesting, guys. But in this scenario, if you notice that you don't go with the DrayTek router. So if you can take either any other vendor other than DrayTek, you can take any other router, but you can use DrayTek access points as a root API, and you can use the DrayTek access point as a node APIs. So you can go up to 50 access points, guys. So you can do all the centralized management from the root API. So whatever configurations you want to do it, you can do it at the root API, and this root API is going to send it to all the node APIs so that you can do the centralized management. That's one of the beautiful solution from DrayTek. So if you have a medium size requirement, if the customer wants to go with below 50 access points, you can go for this solution. The next one is that router-based APM. So here, the router-based APM means you can manage your access points from your router itself. So let's say I have a DrayTek router. Through the DrayTek router, I can manage the DrayTek switches as well as wireless access points, guys. So whatever configurations which is related to the access points, the profiles, everything, I can configure it inside my router. Then after that, I can push these configurations directly to the access points. So this is one of the beautiful feature. And again, as per the model, it's going to choose how many access points is going to support, and maximum you can go for 50 access points. So in case if the customer is planning to go with DrayTek routers, DrayTek switches, and DrayTek access points, you can manage all these devices from the single dashboard. So that's a beautiful stuff, guys. From your router itself is going to act as a controller for your wireless access points. Through your router, you can manage all your access points. Yeah, I believe there is a question. Guys, I'm going to answer it at the end of this session. Yeah, actually third party access points at the moment, it doesn't work, sir. Yeah. So this is actually purely the solution from the DrayTek. Yeah, I'm going to answer your questions, guys, at the end of this session. Yeah. So this is the three solutions are there, guys. These three solutions, especially, we are going to focus on SMB customers, small, medium business customers. Yeah. So this is one of the very interesting. Though, so either if you want to go with, if you see here, either if you want to go with the mesh, you can go for it. If you want to go with the AP-based APM, you can go for it. And if you want to go with the router-based APM, you can go for it. So if it is a small deployment, medium-sized deployment, if the customer is planning to go with below 50 access points, we recommend to go with this is the best solution. Like if you go with the router-based APM, you can give your DrayTek router, you can give your DrayTek switches, you can give your DrayTek access points. So all these devices we can manage from the single dashboard. So in case if you are giving different vendors, the challenge is that you need to go and access manually each and every device, and you need to do the configurations. But here from the single device, you can configure all your DrayTek devices. That's the beauty of stuff. And you can see it in case if any of the device is down, you can see it which device is down. Or in case if you want to do some update, you can update from here. Or in case if you want to take the backup, you can take the backup from here, so that you have a complete control, guys. It's a visibility, especially for SMB customers. Whenever you are going with different vendors, there is some challenges are there. But since if you are using the same vendor, it's very easy to configure your wireless access points, your routers, and your switches as well. Yeah. So these are the solution. The next one is that in case if the customer is planning to go with a large or multi-site deployment. So for example, customer he wants to go with more than 50 access points, then the first solution is that there is a Vigor Connect. So through Vigor Connect, what you can do, guys, you can manage your routers, you can manage switches and access points. So you can manage most of the devices, and it's going to support up to 100 devices, guys. The Vigor Connect, it's a piece of software. It's going to support from Windows 7. You can just download it directly from the DrayTek website and you can install it. There is a small exe file is there. You can directly install that. Then after that, what you can do, you can just add your all access points and all switches, and you can manage from the single dashboard. If the customer he wants to go with more than 50 devices, then this is the best solution for you. And also they have a complete statistics, they can able to see it. And also if you want to upgrade the firmware or if you want to take the backup, it's one of the easiest solution, guys. So be focused on that. In case if you don't use this solution, I recommend to go for it, so that you just install it and you can check how these devices are communicating and how it's working, because most of the time your job is makes more easy. So that's what. And next one is that there is a Vigor ACS, and there is a question, I believe. Should the router based APM be from DrayTek? Yeah, that's correct. So because this is purely a DrayTek solution, guys. So whenever you are giving a DrayTek solution, so it's going to support all your DrayTek devices, because every vendor, they have their own proprietary protocol which is going to support it. In case if you want to add the different vendors, we don't know internally which protocol they are going to use to communicate. So if you go with the DrayTek, if you have a DrayTek switches, if you have a DrayTek router, if you have a DrayTek access points, because they are a single vendor, they are going to use some protocol to make a communication each other. Yeah. So the next one is that Vigor ACS. So the Vigor ACS is your multi-tenancy network management system, guys. This is a cloud-based solution, guys. It's very interesting stuff. So especially most of the integrators, they really like it. Why? Because this is similar like your, if you see here in the previous slide, this is your similar like Vigor Connect, but in Vigor Connect is a on-premises solution. So what you are going to do, the Vigor Connect, you are going to install it one of the server. We are going to install this. But if you go with the Vigor ACS, it's like a cloud-based solution. And just you need to enable the TR69 protocol in each and every device of your DrayTek. Then after that, all these devices are directly communicate to your cloud. From the cloud, what you can do, you can access and you can configure it, whatever changes you want to do it, you can do it from the cloud. So which means if it is a cloud, is nothing but you can access from anywhere. So there is no limitations for you. Even if you went for short vacation and maybe your management wants to do some changes in the access point, maybe they are expecting to do some SSID configurations, and maybe they are expecting to do, some kind of configurations, everything you can do it from the single dashboard. So through the DrayTek Vigor ACS, you can configure it, your access point, your switches, and your routers, everything you can manage it, guys. But only the thing is a license based. So in case if anybody wants to test this, you can just reach your respective account manager from DVCom, and they are going to arrange for you the demo license for 1 month or 2 months. Then after that, you just enable TR69, and we are going to create for you separate portal. Through that portal, you can access the device and you can do whatever configurations. And not only configurations, guys, you can enable the SD-WAN feature through ACS. That is one of the beautiful feature. And also, if you want to do the VoIP-based policies, or if you want to do a route-based policies, whatever policies you are going to configure, everything you can do it from the ACS. ACS is the one of the best feature from the DrayTek. You can manage all your devices from single dashboard. So you no need to connect individually each and every device, and directly you can log into the ACS. From ACS, you can configure your switches, access points, your routers, everything you can configure it. So that's a beautiful thing, guys. So in case if anybody wants to test, you can just drop an email to your respective account manager from DVCom, and they are going to help you out for this, issuing the licenses and all. So this is what the overview. And let's see, there is a question. Sir, Vigor Connect, we can't access from anywhere, like should be at site. Yeah, that's correct. So because it's an on-premises solution, so you should be on the site. And some people, what they have done, guys, if they have a multiple sites and these multiple sites are connected through VPN, and you can manage from multiple sites as well. Okay, you can access from anywhere. Why? Because since you have a connectivity. And some people, what they are going to do, they just do the port forward to that specific server, or else some people, what they are going to do, they just configure the SSL VPN and they just access this device from outside. Because at the end of the day, this Vigor Connect will make you to enable to access the devices from the single dashboard. Either you have a DrayTek access points or DrayTek switches or DrayTek routers. From the single dashboard, you can able to access all these devices. Yep. So any other questions, guys, so far? If the root access point is down, how can carry the other AP? Yeah, this is one of the very interesting question, guys. So that's what you are going to do. Whenever you did the configurations, you need to take the backup. So you can just connect one more access point and just move all the configurations to that access point. Then automatically all these node access points is going to rejoin it. So this is how it's going to work. Right now, at the moment, there is no secondary. Yeah. So there is a question. Sir, should the root app be wired or wireless? So you are talking about in the perspective of a mesh. You're talking about exactly what? So always the root AP, what we are going to do, we are going to connect with the wired only, because the remaining access points, you are going to make it as a node APs, so that all these devices are connecting to the switch. So one of the access point, while you are going to configure it, you are going to configure it as a root AP. Okay. Yeah, in the mesh, what we are going to do, we are going to connect into the wire. Then after that, from there, we are going to connect into in wireless or wired. The choice is yours. Yeah, in the mesh, the root AP is going to connect with the wire. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? So let's on the camera. Yeah. Any other questions? So I want to show it to you something here. Let's see, guys, because I want to show it to you as well. So in case if you want to know about more, for example, if you want to know the mesh, see here, I just want to copy and I'll open it for you guys so that you will get some familiar on this. So if you want to know about the mesh, you can just go to the DrayTek, and this is the link, guys. I'm going to paste it in the chat window so that everybody can have a look. So I'm sharing to you. Please, everybody, if you want, you just have a look, guys. So if you see here, so these are the things that we are going to support, like a mesh, then AP-based APM, and we are going to support router-based APM. And if you want to know which access points and all, the complete details are here. You can go through it and you can get the complete idea, guys. So whenever you are going to suggest to your customers, you just refer this so that you will get complete idea and you can talk to your customers. Okay, whatever questions they have it. And also there is one more thing. Let's open my PPT. Yeah, you can see here, in case if you want to know about AP based APM, maybe if you didn't implement before and if you are doing it the first time. So this is the document, you can refer it, guys. Let me open for you. Yeah, and this is what AP based APM. So in case if you want to deploy and which is going to support as a root AP. So you can see it here, which one is going to support root AP. Okay, and how you are going to configure it. And you can see here, they are going to mention the first AP, which they are going to mention as a root AP. Yeah, and remaining APs, they are going to add it as a node APs. They directly add it. After that, they will configure all the SSIDs and all. From their root AP, they are going to push all the configurations. Yeah, so this is what you can able to do it, guys. Because especially in the DrayTek, you have a document for each and every topic, guys. Whatever the technical queries you have it, you can go through it and everything is available. And moreover, we already configured, we already made some videos day-to-day based and we uploaded it in the YouTube channel so that you can go through it as well. There is a question. Okay, what the highest limit of bandwidth to merge connections in WAN aggregation? It depends on the model. Yeah. Can you talk about once again VPN Matcher? Yeah, let's go, guys. Let's talk about the VPN Matcher. Okay. Right. So guys, if you see here, the VPN Matcher, let's say that in case if you are getting an internet connection, which is the private IP. So, and one good thing is that in the DrayTek, one side you have a private IP and another side you have a public IP, still you can able to establish the VPN. Is it clear for everybody? Yeah, because most of the time the VPN is the one of the challenge for us, right? So the customer, let's say one of the site, he has a public IP and one of the site he has a private IP. Still you can able to establish the VPN. As you know that we are going to support PPTP, L2TP and IPsec. We are going to support it. But here in this scenario, both sides you have a private IPs. So unfortunately, you don't have a public IP. So that time, what you can do, you can just go to the vpnmatcher.draytek.com and you can add the MAC address of each and every router. There is a LAN MAC address is there, guys. You take the MAC address and your internal subnet. Just you add it in the VPN Matcher. Then after that, the VPN Matcher, what it will do, it will make a communication. It is going to establish a connection between the head office to the branch office. Then after that, you can make it one of the device as a server, VPN server, and one of the device as a VPN client. Then after that, you can configure the VPN tunnel between the head office to branch office. Then automatically they are going to communicate. But again, sometimes what will happen if it doesn't work? Maybe this is what your question. In case if it doesn't work, you can check the stun server is establishing or not. The moment when you are going to establish this VPN Matcher, guys, if you just go there, there is a stun server settings are there. Once you click the stun server settings, it will show you it's connected successfully some message. If it is coming that message, yes, you can able to establish the VPN connection, even if you are in the private network. Is it clear, guys? I think let's ask him. Yeah, Mr. Hafiz, are you clear about this? Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay, and I'm going to share the YouTube channel as well, sir. Yeah, and there is one more question. We have two routers, one in India and one in Qatar. VPN, everything is established, but very slow. How could I fix it? Sir, what you can do, you can just share us the models. Then after that, you can check whether, because you just guys, everybody has to understand, since you guys are everybody into the technical and all our partners. So the very important thing, guys, whenever you are going to establish the VPN you are going to configure on top of your internet. And your existing users who is sitting in your local network, they are going to use the same internet and you are going to use the same internet for VPN. So make sure that, because let's say all employees are sitting and they just open the Facebook or YouTube, they are trying to access some streaming media, so that the complete bandwidth, what is going to happen, it's going to utilize for your internet connection. So that's why sometimes what will happen, whenever you try to establish a VPN, still you will find the slowness. So that is one. And in that cases, what you are going to do, you just enable the CSM features like content security management. We have a application filtering, we have a DNS filtering, we have a web content filtering. You just apply it and you can just control the people to avoid the access of Facebook or YouTube, some social media, some game sites. You can just, after that, you can try it. And also always we recommend that you can upgrade the latest firmware and you can check it. Yeah. So any other questions? Yeah, what is the highest limit of bandwidth to merge connections in WAN aggregations? Guys, the bandwidth limitation is nothing but we are going to support 92.2 Gbps, which is going to support, guys, if you go with 3910, because each and every router has a different models and a different bandwidth it's going to support. Yeah, there is another question. Is there any option to reserve bandwidth for VPN? At the moment, there is no reservation, sir. But what you can do, if you want, you can do the PBR. PBR is nothing but policy-based routing. So some of the traffic, what you can do, you can just send it through into one internet connection and another traffic you can send it. That's what it's there. Yeah, because you're trying to asking like, you can reserve some bandwidth for the VPN. That is not there at the moment. But again, you can apply the QoS and all. You can, that for especially for this some of the application, if you want to do the prioritize and all, you can do it. In DrayTek by default, the highest priority is going to take it for voice traffic. Yeah, any other questions, guys? I just want to share this link to you. Just a minute, guys, because I forgot to share this link so that you guys can have a look. Yeah, one sec. This link we need to share it with them because AP based APM, because most of the partners we are expecting to do this one, guys. Yeah, in case if you find a challenge, you just drop me an email so that I'll help you out. Yeah, so that's the two links, one for mesh, one for the AP based APM. And also some people, they have some challenges, guys. So where we need to download the firmware and all, it's very easy. You just go here, go to draytek.com website, and you can see here there is a support. In the support, you can see, guys, there is a latest firmware. You just click here and you can download the latest firmware directly from here. Or else what you can do, and there is a DrayTek FTP site is there. Just go to the DrayTek FTP site. From there also you can download it, guys. The advantage here, you can get the old firmwares as well. Yeah. In case if you want to go with the old firmwares, you can get it as well. Yeah. So there is a question. Let's go and have a look. Upload the bandwidth from ISP will not limit the VPN performance. Usually upload bandwidth is may 5 or 10%. Upload bandwidth from ISP, will it not be limit the VPN performance? Usual upload bandwidth is maybe, yeah. Here, guys, one interesting stuff is that, for example, if you are going with the broadband connections and all, most of the time we are going to take the broadband. If you take a leased lines and all, you are going to get the download and upload speed is the same. But if you are going with the broadband connections, you just understand that for the download, actually the browsing speed, if the customer said that we have a 500 Mbps, so that's okay. That is for browsing speed. But the upload speed will be only 50 Mbps, guys. Yeah. If the customer has taken 100 Mbps line, for example, in the broadband connection, 100 Mbps is only for browsing speed and 10 Mbps is the upload speed. So you need to understand this. Yeah. Whenever you are trying to configure it and whenever, if you're finding some challenges, and you must know that what type of connections the customer has taken and you need to proceed according to that. Okay. So any other questions, guys? Can we wrap up this session? So make sure that every Saturdays, guys, we are going to arrange the trainings for the partners. So in case if you guys wants to, if you want to know more about the DrayTek, if you are finding some challenges, so you please just inform to your account managers, drop an email, and you are coordinate with them so that they will help you out and they are going to arrange a schedule for you. So in case if you want to play with the device, maybe you just work with the 2915 or 2927, or maybe you want to get some expertise on 2962 or 3910, you just let me know so that I'm going to arrange for the device. You just have a look and just check all these features, guys. Why? Because most of the time, DrayTek is very reliable and stable, and you can, it's, you can just do the experiments whatever you want it, because it has all the features. It's a single box, it has all the features, but make sure that you should be clear on that part. Yeah, I'm going to share the YouTube channel, sir. Definitely, I'm going to share it now. So you just do one thing, sir. You can just type it there in YouTube DVCom Technology. You can see all our videos. Yeah. So in case if you have any comments, you just let me know so that I'll help you out on this part. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the time, and see you in the next webinar.